Hey, today's episode of Cast, we have Shane Bramlett from 662 Outdoor Adventures. You can check him out on YouTube. He's been with us here at the shop a whole bunch of times. He's local right here in Mississippi. He works with a lot of nonprofits in the area, does a lot of good things. Tells us how it started with him and his son Jacob doing some hunting, how they get their videos out, and how they're working with a lot of the organizations around here. Check out the episode.
Hey y'all! Welcome to Caliber's Aerospine and Tackle, better known as CAST, brought to you by Second Amendment Outdoors in Corinth, Mississippi. In this podcast, we sit down with influential voices from the outdoor industry to bring you authentic conversations that connect sportsmen of all seasons. From bow hunting for whitetail to crappie fishing on the lake, spring turkey hunting to chasing rabbit and squirrel, we cover it all. Our focus is on real people sharing real stories about conservation. We can't wait to join you on this journey and dive into the world of the outdoors together.
Hey, it's Kevin from Second Amendment. We have Shane Bramlett from 662 Outdoor Adventure with us today. We're going to talk about how that started, how things are going, working with some organizations and some charities. Got some things going on. We're going to find out about those. Other than that, let us know how did this start?
How did 662 Outdoor Adventures start? So I've been recording my hunts and stuff for 20 years now, you know, with the old VHS-C stuff and the old camcorders. I actually found one a while back, and I've loaded some of those videos on my YouTube channel from 2004, 2005, something like that. They're real fuzzy, you know, it's vintage stuff
grainy,
now.
Grainy.
So I started recording hunts and stuff way back. And as I was doing that, which YouTube wasn't that big back then. So the first YouTube video that I loaded was 16 years ago, 2009.
Wow.
The hog hunt in Texas that a group of guys that we were in an archery only club, and we would go to Texas hog hunting every year in between deer and turkey season just to kind of pass some time.
Yeah.
And I took the camera with me and shot some hogs and, you know, made a video out of it. But it's, as my son got older, I wanted to try to capture some of our hunts with him just to save the memories.
Right.
And that's kind of where this evolved into. At first it was iPhone 7, just recording the video of him shooting turkeys or shooting a deer or whatever. And it all started with just doing the cell phone stuff. And I'd just get the kill shot and I'd load it onto YouTube and send it to my buddies. Say, hey, look what Jacob did, you know? And
I just watched his most recent one too. That was pretty good. I heard a little rumor that you missed the shot portion of it or the
Yeah, so I had one job. So my son Jacob is 15 now, so it's his last year for youth turkey season. And he is at a point now where he's doing things himself. You know, he killed his first turkey when he was like 8, first deer when he was 5. And so we've been hunting together forever, and he knows what to do. And he wanted to try to take the reins and do it himself. And he caught up his first solo bird last year by himself. So this year it was like, okay, I'm just going to take the camera and let you do what you want to do. And that particular morning, it was last Sunday morning, actually, we went into this piece of public and we had heard the birds fly up the afternoon before. So we knew there were some turkeys in there, but didn't know exactly where. And so we walked back in there. It's probably close to a mile. And I let him pick the tree out that he wanted to sit beside. And he picked the tree and ended up, the turkeys were roosted within 125 yards of us right there. And they pitched out on the opposite ridge, and he did all the calling. All I had to do was deal with the camera. And I double punched the record button. So we didn't get the kill shot, but I got a good bit of footage prior to that and all that. And so what you saw was just a little 3-minute clip that I put together of the GoPro footage and some of the other stuff, you know, while him walking out with the turkey on his back and
the smile from ear to ear. Behind it.
Yeah. So that's the stuff that I'm kind of doing now.
But it's passing on the tradition, and
it is.
And having him there ever since being smaller, and moving up through, I'm betting now sometimes he looks back at some of them other videos and he's like, oh my goodness, what was I doing? You know, and
Yeah.
he's looking at it now going, that's not the turkey call. That's just me scraping on a slate, you know, and stuff like that. But
Yeah, I don't know how much he's going back and watching the older videos, but I have been lately, and it helps refresh my memory of what actually took place, because you remember some of the details about the hunt,
Right.
but then I tend to forget some of them too. I'm getting almost 50 years old. My memory's getting old, but getting worse.
Easy, man, easy.
Yeah, so 662 Outdoor Adventures, like I say, it started just with cell phone stuff, a little clip here and there. I actually got his very first archery deer
Really?
on video. That's on YouTube. And it was the second one, the same tree. We had COVID. We were quarantined at the deer camp Thanksgiving weekend, and we didn't have anything else to do.
Nothing like being quarantined at the deer camp. I could think of a lot worse places to be quarantined at, for sure. I bet everybody could.
But it was like Thanksgiving weekend, 11 years old, and he wanted to bow hunt. So that's just him. He loves bow hunting. And so we started recording his hunts, and I'd load them and I'd send them to my friends, send them the link, and they were like, y'all are pretty successful. You kill a good many critters and things like that, and you get it on video. Why don't you start trying to do better with the videos? And after I had a few friends tell me that, I was like, yeah, people might want to watch it. So now we've got some better camera equipment, and I'm trying to do the full length videos in a fashion that people would want to watch it. I mean, it's more really just for us to save the memories. But if somebody else wants to watch it, hey, I'm trying to make it somewhat enjoyable.
Right.
And I think we've got close to 800 subscribers, something like that.
That's cool. That's a good start.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
I think I've got 5.
5.
Yeah. No, I mean 5. 5, not 500, 5. So
we'll get you there.
We're starting. We're starting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we've met when you had a problem with a bow.
Yep, that we bought here.
Yep, you bought the bow from us. You'd come by the shop before, but we never really kind of talked.
Yeah, it was. I'm an hour away, so it's not like I can swing by.
Right.
Every day, but
Jacob had his mishap with his bow, and we got that taken care of.
Yep.
And it wasn't shortly long after that he shot another deer with that thing, right? Yeah.
So we had a trip booked to Central Texas.
Yep.
And it was sometime November. It was rifle season, and we were bow hunting like we always do. And he had his little mishap.
Yep. We're going to leave it at mishap because, I mean, we know what was going on.
Yeah.
Rather not put it out in a lot of public, but
you guys really helped us out with that. I appreciate what you guys did
we're here for that. And to have a youth that is so engaged in the archery community and in the game, I mean, there's nothing we wouldn't do to get him out there again.
Yeah.
So we were able to get that done for you guys and get him back out there, and it kind of made us feel good too, that we were doing something.
Yeah, so we got the bow back for y'all pulling some strings that wasn't expected. That excellent customer service. I can't say much enough about that, but within 2 weeks, I guess, we headed to Texas, and it was our first trip out there, and actually heard about that hunt on a podcast with Fistful of Dirt, Cut Strickland.
Yep.
He was talking about it, and it's kind of working man's ranch. It's do-it-yourself style, 20,000 acres. They give you a little block. There's your place. You go hunt,
Right.
And so we did that do-it-yourself hunt, and he killed his best buck that he's ever killed with a bow.
Right.
And so we immediately booked, as soon as you can, booked another hunt. We went back next year, and he topped that buck. He killed another one. So,
that's awesome.
We've got our 2025 hunt booked already this year.
Yes.
We'll be out there Thanksgiving weekend. And the first 2 years, I took he and my nephews out there the first year. My nephew also killed his best bow buck.
Yeah.
Sitting with me, Jacob killed his like Saturday, and you hunt Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we were seeing another shooter buck, and they hadn't really seen one. So we swapped. And my son hunted with my younger nephew, and my oldest nephew sat with me. So I videoed 2 bow kills on that trip with my oldest nephew.
Nice.
And they were like, so they're both their personal best bucks with a bow.
And that was that Heart of Texas that we had.
Yes, that's Heart of Texas bow hunting.
Yeah. Maybe this way someone in our podcast will hear about it. And
absolutely, yeah, it's.
I've heard they were really good. I did a little research. I was actually looking into going out there this year. Some things come up that wasn't able to do it this year, along with some stuff going on. But in the future, I'm hoping to make it out there with you guys.
Yeah, we had talked about doing that, and you guys tagging along with us. And unfortunately, it does book quickly.
Yeah.
So, a lot of places will let you book like while you're there on your hunt. You can book for the next season. Well, they don't do that. They don't start booking hunts until season closes.
Right.
Whenever Texas season closes, they start booking for the next year. And if I remember correctly, when I called him, he booked 185 people call and book the first day.
Wow.
The first day. Yeah.
Well, that means it's a pretty successful place then. They've got a good reputation.
Yep.
I mean, you've always spoken good of them, so.
Yeah, we've had a great time out there. I don't know of anywhere that you can go and have that many deer in bow range just by walking out, setting your blind up, throwing some bait out. I mean, it's Texas. Everybody throws out corn in Texas, but we'd go out and pop the blind up, put some corn out, put our trail cameras up, and before we get back to the lodge, we're getting pictures of deer already. So it's an awesome place. Can't recommend it enough. It's Heart of Texas bow hunting.
Yeah.
So I'm excited this year because for the first 2 years I was just been videoing Jacob. Dad's going to get to shoot this time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So we booked 2 spots, and I'm going to take my Lift X, and I'm probably going to end up taking my recurve too. So I'm probably going to have 2 bows in the blind with me.
That would be fun.
It's stupid easy to get a deer within 15 yards out there. And that's really tempting with the recurve.
Yes, it is. And it's kind of it's that thing you've been wanting to do, and it's, how would I put that? It makes it seem so much more primitive, to say, more traditional archery, There's a lot of traditionalists that think that stick and string is the only way to go. Anything with cams, that's not archery. And then you have the bow hunter versus crossbow, guys that don't think that they should have any carbon in their arrows and it should be wood. And I mean, it's a whole different, there's subspecies of all those categories.
Yeah. And you don't even want to mention crossbows.
Well, the thing is, I think everybody should get along.
Exactly.
I mean, we're all out there to do the same thing.
Common goal.
Yes. And in order to be where you're at to hunt, you have to have some kind of woodsmanship. I mean, there are people that are just straight up hunters. They go out, jump in a stand, and luckily something walks by.
Yeah.
But generally, even crossbow hunters get out there, do their scouting, do their looking, set up stands. I mean, we're all hunting.
Yeah.
We're all out there to do the same thing. I know some of the bow hunters get upset because now we got more people in the woods because they got a crossbow. At least they're in the woods.
Yeah.
People are not sitting at home in front of their TV eating, Little Debbie's.
Yep.
They're filling them in their backpacks and bringing them out to the stand with them,
But they're buying a hunting license.
Yeah.
And they're helping conservation because of that. So, the recurve thing, I was in an archery only club for 10 years or so, and we would shoot a lot of deer.
Yeah.
I think the first year that I got in it, everybody was like, you need to shoot some does, get the herd down, things like that. And there's 7 of us killed 36 does with our bows.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now with compounds?
With compounds, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And after several years of that, I guess I bought my recurve when my wife was on bed rest in the hospital to have Jacob. And she was in the hospital for 3 weeks on bed rest before he was born. Then he was born 8 weeks early, weighed 2 pounds and something. You can't tell it now, but he was a little preemie. But I was sitting on the little hard couch in the hospital, and when I bought that bow on eBay just to see if I wanted to try it, if I would like recurves, and
something to take your mind off it at the time, maybe. A little distraction.
Yeah.
And well, why not?
But it's just an old bear tiger cat, 1960 something bow. But I killed several deer with it.
Probably still just as good as the day it was made.
It flings arrows.
Oh yeah.
And I killed several deer with it. Killed some hogs when we'd go to on that hog hunt in Texas. Killed some hogs with it. And when Jacob got old enough to start going hunting, I got out of the archery only club because it was strictly archery only. No muzzle loaders, no anything. And I was in another club too. And so I would take him so he could go.
Right.
We'd sit in the box stand and,
Oh,
he shot a deer when he was 5, and crazy story about that. And you might not have heard this. So at 5 years old, I had a little Jeep, little 2-door Jeep. And so he's riding in his car seat, going deer hunting with me, riding in the car seat. So we were sitting in the stand, and I had some of those Walker's game ear, electronic ear muffs.
Yeah.
And that's, if you got kids, young kids, and you're trying to get them hunting, those things are awesome because they can still hear you communicating.
Yeah, they can follow instructions and
yes.
listen to what you have to say for safety reasons.
Yep. They're awesome for that. If you got just regular earmuffs, then they can't hear you and you can't communicate with them. But we forgot them. We left them at home. So deer steps out in the lane, and we've been peeling oranges, little halos and stuff, and throwing them out the window. But anyway, the deer steps out of the lane about 60 yards.
So you're baiting? No.
If they like orange peels, I don't know.
I don't know.
But I put my fingers in his ears, So he's got total control of the gun. I flipped the safety off, put my fingers in his ears, and the other tip I can say with kids, I'd always had my buddies that they would take their kids hunting and they couldn't find the deer in the scope. That was the story I heard over and over and over again. Yeah, we had a deer come out, but he couldn't find him in the scope. He couldn't find him in the scope. And that got me thinking about what could I do for a solution to that? And I actually started Jacob shooting a Cricket 22 when he was 3 years old with a red dot.
Okay.
No magnification.
Yep.
No eye relief issues.
Nope.
If he can see the dot, he can shoot it.
Right.
And he shot that from the time he was 3. And the first deer that he killed was AR-15 with a red dot on it.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
And no problems at all. He shot that until he was 8 or 9 and was just piling them up with it. But so deer steps out, put my fingers in his ears. He shoots, deer runs off, piles up. We're all high-fiving and stuff. And we get out there and we drag the deer. We put it on a little hitch haul behind the Jeep. And we're driving home. Like I say, he's 5 years old, riding in his car seat beside me. He's like, Daddy, I'm glad I hit that deer. So I'm glad you hit him too, buddy. And he said, I put the dot where you told me to, and I closed my eyes and squeezed the trigger.
So you had his eyes closed and your fingers in his ears.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
And he still managed to get the deer. So.
Yep. You know what? At least he's really got a steady hold.
Yeah.
That shows that it's got a really good steady hold. So.
Yeah. But, when he got old enough to start going, I got out of the bow hunting part of it as much. For 10 years, I strictly bow hunted,
Yeah.
And I had a buddy that we got. Campbell's cameras were big back then for outdoor filming stuff. They sold all the bigger cameras and the camera arms, tree
Is that
arms,
the one that had the
stuff.
battery pack that would go in the belt buckle so that the battery wasn't on the camera?
The one we didn't have that.
Okay.
But yeah, so we had the bigger camera and all that. And I was trying to video bow hunts and
the
things.
old shop I worked at in Georgia, they came up and they were doing some videoing up there in the late 90s, and they had the belt with the battery pack on it so that the camera wasn't so heavy so that he could still move around kind of stealthily, let's say, for what you can with a 10-pound camera on your shoulder.
This was, a little later than that, 2005 or so.
Okay.
Yeah. But,
so you're up into like high 8 in the Betamax and
yeah.
There you go. High end.
But, so we just hanging out with him and hunting. And recording the stuff. And then, like I say, it's evolved to where, we did a turkey hunt last year and we can use that to roll into this now. We've mentioned that I've been helping with some nonprofit organizations and things around here, and this is one of them right here, the Hope Outdoors, that I've been helping with. And they've got a chapter here, North Mississippi, is based out of Byhalia. It's where the chapter director lives, and the hunts have been in Tate County, down in that area.
Now, explain a little bit about Hope Outdoors. I don't know if everybody knows about Hope Outdoors.
Yeah, we can get into that.
Just what is the Hope Outdoors?
What is Hope Outdoors? So Hope Outdoors helps handicapped, physically disabled, even some. We've got some hunters that have had traumatic brain injuries from car accidents and things like that. So they help people that have challenges, whatever they may be, to get into the outdoors. Track chairs, if you're in a wheelchair, things like that. I helped with a deer hunt in November of last year.
Yeah, I saw some of the videos on it.
Yep, and I'm still working on the YouTube side of those videos, but there's some short clips out there on what little bit you can put on TikTok without getting in trouble. I got an appeal on one the other day. I actually won the appeal, but you can find that stuff to 662 Outdoors on TikTok, and then maybe just be under my name, Shane Bramlett, on Instagram. I think it's kind of both.
Yeah.
But you see more of the better stuff on Instagram. I just don't have as many followers on Instagram.
Instagram is hard to grow followers.
Yeah, it's been tough too.
Yeah.
It's bad. I'll post something and Bobby Cole and Cuz Strickland, the president and vice president of Mossy Oak, are about the only two that like anything I post.
I hit them now or down.
Yeah.
Because I'm on there posting Second Amendment Outdoors, our archery. I do the 2AO archery, the Instagram and the TikTok here. So, when I'm loading mine up, I'm like, oh, Shane loaded a couple more. Let me see what he's got going on. And, that's how I've been staying in touch with a lot of people. So, and
we try to collaborate as much as possible. Repost stuff and things like that. Y'all see a lot of stuff. I'm reposting a lot of Kevin's videos,
and I'm sharing ones from Shane to get them out there. But so Hope Outdoors,
and so they're helping people that have challenges get into the outdoors again. We did a deer hunt in November. Another deer hunt in January. So we've got hunters that are double amputees that were loaned them a track chair, and so that they can get out there.
And the people that do this are all volunteer?
It's all volunteers. All volunteers. The national director for Hope Outdoors, I had never heard of it, and I saw a post on Facebook where the director for this Northwest Mississippi chapter was looking for volunteers. And I was like, I'd like to get involved with that, And after I got to researching it, Hope Outdoors has been going for 20 years.
Really?
Started in Alabama, and the national director is actually in Tupelo, Mississippi. His name's Opie Thomas, and met him, and a great guy. And he's got a YouTube channel. They got a YouTube channel, Hope Outdoors. He's been loading hunts from last year's turkey season here recently, in the last week or so. And he's, running a year behind like that, with posting stuff, but he does a really great job with the editing and the videos. And that was one of the things that kind of got me wanting to help, is because when I looked up their YouTube channel, he had videos on there explaining to people and to the volunteers that want to volunteer with them what he would like to see them recording, for after the kill, what to record in the blind and things like that.
How to get their reaction.
And he had like 7 videos on there explaining things that he would like to see. And I was like, I've been doing the YouTube thing for a while. That's something that I could help with. And to help capture the footage now that I've got decent camera and things like that. So that's what I did these last 2 things. That they have every hunt, you'll have a hunter in the blind, a guide, and hopefully somebody to video things.
Okay.
And the guide is more responsible for helping with the firearm, things like that.
Yeah.
They've got a turkey hunt coming up April the 4th and 5th. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to help with that turkey hunt because I got something conflicting.
Yeah.
And we can get into that
No,
after
just
we
say
get through with the Hope Outdoors.
Yeah.
But it's a great organization. I have been blessed just by going and helping and volunteering to see the enthusiasm that those people have, that, you know,
the drive to get them up and out there.
exactly.
You know, it has
And
to be
they
amazing.
want to go, you
Yeah.
know, and the gentleman that we took named Wes Joyner that we hunted with in January, paralyzed from the waist down,
Mhm.
had been in a chair for 14 years. And he's just the most upbeat guy, cutting up, joking,
That's
you know,
good.
and we had a great time getting him.
It's good that he doesn't let his disability get him down.
And that's exactly what
You know.
Hope Outdoors, they want to, man, I forget the motto, but it's like no limits, no boundaries.
Okay.
That's what they want to let you know, that you can get back out there,
Right.
that there are no restrictions to it. There
No.
are no limits.
No.
That,
I mean, we actually even carry here, we carry, I think 1 or 2 blinds that are handicap accessible.
Yep.
So that the whole side of the blind opens up so that you could put a chair in or something like that, because of the handicapped hunters that are out there. They're out there. They come in here. I mean, we have guys that, here we go with the crossbow again, but
yeah.
we have a hunter that comes in here. He has a crossbow that he's got all set up. He has a trike that he can get out to his blind with,
Mm-hmm.
and actually he can open the side of it and back the whole trike right up into the blind.
Yeah.
So I mean, it works out great. He has his crossbow and he can rest it right on the handlebars, and he's good to go.
Yeah.
You know, and if he does harvest an animal, you know, usually he's with someone, but then if he does harvest an animal, the trike helps pull it out of the woods. He doesn't have to worry about, you know, he's got to get somebody to drag it for him. He's got to do that. You know, he can get around a bit, but at least he has that motivation to do it.
Yes.
You know, and we like to be able to, any way we can, help out.
Yeah.
You know, if we have that product that works for you, we like to carry it, you know, so yeah.
Yeah. So they've got, if you can suck a straw or blow a straw, they have a rifle set up on a platform that you can put beside the chair, and it's completely motorized. It has a screen on it with the crosshairs in it. So somebody else is actually pointing the gun with the remote control, but the hunter, if they can suck or blow on a straw, can activate the trigger.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
And they've got push buttons as well. So if they can move their hands or whatever, you know, and can push the button. Scooter is actually Angela. She's the national director, or not national. She's the director for the local chapter, Northwest Mississippi. Angela Birmingham is her name. Her son Scooter was in an accident when he was 18, I think, and got ejected from his vehicle, and he's immobile. You know.
Okay.
He can drive his chair around.
Yeah.
But he uses the push button.
Okay.
And so when we were there in November.
That's really neat that they have multiple different ways for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they do the night before the hunt, we'll have a meal and they'll get them trained, show them the gun and the apparatus and all that they'll be using, you know. In November, I saw something that I probably would have never had guessed that I had seen. I watched and videoed it, and I haven't posted any of this yet. Young man named Dallas Bruce. He was from Texas, totally blind, shooting a rifle.
Okay, I'm interested.
Yeah. So they used the screen on the top so that we could see what he was aiming at.
Okay.
He was in a domestic dispute and got shot in the face with a shotgun.
Oh.
So he's totally blind, both eyes, but that was 7 years ago, and I think he's probably in his late 20s, early 30s, something like that. So he was familiar with weapons.
Yeah.
And the first thing he did when he sat down behind the rifle, he's feeling of it. He's like, what brand is this? Where's the safety at? He knew where the safety would be based off of what brand it was and things like that.
Okay.
So we would tell him, all right, move left, up, no, back right a little bit. And the words that he wanted when he had the crosshairs on the target was punch it.
Okay.
Not something you usually want to squeeze the trigger, but was punch it. And we got him out there on the range and behind the church. They're actually shooting off the basketball court in the church across the soccer field.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, we're out in the middle of nowhere, Wyatt, Mississippi. If you've never heard of Wyatt, Mississippi, don't blink, you'll pass it up.
I'm sure it was pretty checked and make sure everything was safe. And
absolutely,
I know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
it just sounds bad.
But yeah, we got him out there on the range shooting the rifle at 100 yards, and that's something I never would have thought I'd seen. And I've followed him on social media since then, and he's shooting ducks,
really,
out of the air with a shotgun. He's pretty impressive.
That's pretty cool.
But he and his buddy's paralyzed from the waist down, and they hunt together. And they're trying to get their own little thing going out there in Texas, where they're at Rolling Stone Outdoors, I think is the name of it. And they help each other out. Dallas will get on the four-wheeler and load it in the back of the truck with his buddy Jacob guiding him.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it don't work out. There's videos on there with
but
a blind guy trying to load a four-wheeler in the back of the truck.
I'm going to leave it alone. No, I can't do it. It's too much of a softball.
Yeah.
But then working as a team.
Working as a team to get things done.
See them, this one has this disability, this one has this. They're using each other's strengths to cover this one's weakness.
Yes.
I mean, it's an awesome story. There's nothing wrong with that.
And it humbles you to help with the volunteer with things like that, to see the joy that they get out of it and the drive that they have to get out there and do things. And it you take for granted what you've got.
Yeah.
And when you see things like that.
I mean, I'm not blind and sometimes have trouble loading the four-wheeler in the back of the truck.
But yeah, I've really enjoyed helping with the Hope Outdoors thing. And like I say, unfortunately, I've got a conflict that I'm not going to be able to help with this turkey hunt coming up. Because for the turkey hunts, they have a hunter, a caller, and then the guide to help.
The guide and the filmer.
To help with that. So,
so now we'll get to your conflict.
Get to my conflict. Yeah. My conflict
is we have conflicting good deeds. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay.
And this one is something that we've been involved with for a little bit longer.
Yes.
I got a flyer. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. I know the people just audio won't be able to see it, but there's a organization called Hunting the Cure. And it is a nonprofit that raises money for St. Jude.
Yep.
And my wife is a St. Jude she is a childhood cancer survivor.
All right.
And a former St. Jude patient. And she still goes for long-term follow-up studies.
Okay.
And the day of this turkey hunt, so this is in Tennessee, it's in Savannah, Tennessee, and they do the youth turkey hunt. So the youth season, Tennessee opens April 4th, or April 5th, Saturday, April 5th.
Yep.
We've got to be there on the 4th.
Okay.
And it's the same weekend as the Hope Outdoors turkey hunt down in Mississippi. So
something that's a little closer to home.
A little closer to home for us. We have participated in this.
Not literally by distance, though, at all.
No. But we usually drag the camper up there and stay in the campground. It's got a real nice campground right outside Savannah, Green Acres. But yeah, so my wife, childhood cancer survivor, and these long-term follow-up studies that they do, she goes in and they'll do all these tests and cognitive tests and make her walk around the nurse's station so many times and mammograms, things like that. They do all these tests on her to help current patients understand what to expect in the future.
And also to show there is longevity.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
the disease isn't gonna, it's not an end game.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people hear the C word and they think that's it, it's all done, you know. And I have friends of mine that are cancer survivors, and they've been around with me for quite a while now, and I'm pleased to say that they're still doing well.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's not the period at the end of the sentence anymore.
Exactly.
You know. So
because of the research and stuff that
exactly
that hospitals like St. Jude, and this is
Yep.
talking about childhood cancer, but that the hospitals like St. Jude are doing is really helping make that not be the period at the end of the sentence anymore. And so we've actually got to be at the hospital on the 4th for a long-term follow-up study, and then drive to Savannah, Tennessee from Memphis.
So you got to go from Wyatt to Memphis, Memphis to Savannah. Are you gonna drag your trailer to drag the camera?
I don't know. We're talking about just getting a hotel room this time because we're going to be in Memphis all day for the long-term follow-up thing. But we got to get Jacob up there for orientation. Well, I say Jacob, this year, my daughter is going to turkey hunt as well.
She is awesome.
So the way they do these turkey hunts, there's a registration fee, if you want to call it that, that you have to pay. Yeah, it's like a minimum donation thing. But they obviously want you to try to raise as many donations as possible.
Yeah.
Last year, they raised over $70,000. And this has been going on for years. I'm not sure exactly how long. We hunted for a couple years prior to COVID.
Yeah.
And then the COVID unfortunately shut it down like it did most everything around here. And then when it came time to start it back up, some of the same people, along with more people, started it back up, but they had to start it up under a different nonprofit than what they did before. Just because different group of people. But a lot of the same people are still helping the landowners up there, donating their land to let the kids hunt on. Jacob killed his first bird up there last year. So we've done several hunts before, but last year he killed his first bird up there, and I recorded that hunt with my cell phone again.
Yeah.
And that's what got me wanting to get better camera.
Right.
Because that would have been some awesome footage, because the turkey stood 60 yards behind a tree and you could see his head come out when he gobbled. Every time he gobbled, he's just standing there. And then he strutted his way to us. But with the cell phones, you just can't.
You can't zoom in that yardage.
They say they're 4K, but it's just not, you can't get the zoom like you want to and all that. So that's what convinced me to get some better camera equipment. And so from that point forward in turkey season last year, you'll see a little better video.
So,
still trying to figure out the camera.
Yeah. Got a little better camera.
Yeah.
Good thing you went out and did some shooting with Jacob so that he didn't think it's just because your daughter's going up this year, you know? Got a little girl, and all of a sudden there's a new camera. No.
So this year we're going to take both kids are going to get to hunt, and we're going to hunt the same farm. So the young man that we hunted with last year, his grandpa's got 5,000 acres, and he's the only one turkey hunts on it.
Pardon?
Yeah. So we got fortunate that we got hooked up with him last year. I'm not going to say any names, but we really appreciate him.
But
if you go watch the video, you'll see his name. But anyway.
You know, they have that saying that everybody uses when they find out that you're shooting your bow and on YouTube, and they come in here and they see us with all our archery equipment and our, you know, I've got my prime form set up right there, and you know, they're like, oh, must be nice.
Yeah.
You know how hard I had to work to get that, you know? So I was going to use the same term, the must be nice, but it's not right to use it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, they really try to get.
That family's donating their land to do this for the kids and raising money for St. Jude's. So, you know what? that must be nice, being
Yeah.
able to do that, you know, and donate the land and let the kids go hunt, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the plan this year is that Jacob will go with him,
Mm-hmm.
and then I will go to a different area of the farm with my daughter.
Yep.
And we're going to try to get both of them on a bird this year. So
And we're going to do a slight pause.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. We had a slight pause. We had some archery stuff we had to do and a bow blowing up in my hand. And
Yeah, we didn't get any of that on video.
No, it didn't.
That would have been some good stuff.
It was even funnier when they walked in and said, "Hey, are you the 662 Outdoor Adventure guy?" And I wish we had kept the camera rolling.
Yeah,
that would have been classic.
The second person that's ever recognized me for that, I think. But
well, was I the first? Was I the first? No.
Yeah, but that's about 662 in a nutshell. There, the St. Jude hunt. We're really excited about that coming up, and it's April the 4th, 5th. They're going to have a banquet.
Yep.
Live auction, silent auction. There's people that donated all types of calls. There's Osceola turkey hunt that you can bid on.
Oh, I might have to stop by.
So if you get on Facebook, Hunting the Cure.
Yep.
Just Hunting the Cure right there. Look for that symbol, that logo.
And it's in Savannah, Tennessee.
It's in Savannah, Tennessee at the fairgrounds.
Okay.
Let's see, we got an address, 665 Clifton Road, Savannah, Tennessee, Hardin County Fairgrounds. And they're having a cornhole tournament.
Okay.
Saturday the 5th at 11 o'clock. It's open to the public. Anybody can come play cornhole or come watch people play cornhole. And then the banquet, the auction will be that night, Saturday the 5th at 6 o'clock. And every penny raised will go to St. Jude.
All right. What I'm going to do is I'm actually have a couple episodes in the can, and I'm going to load them out fast. I hope to have this one out a week before the event. That way we can get the word out.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sounds good.
Well, as always, Shane, it's a pleasure to see you.
Yep.
I know it's not going to be the last time we're here.
Oh, we'll be back.
We'll be back. We'll be talking more about what we got going on. And pleasure, brother.
Yep. Anytime.
Take care. And as always, hunt safe.
I'm recording. So let's try this out.